Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Keep the Momentum. Today, as you can see from the caption, we are going to talk about why we cannot keep our momentum. It is a very irritating thing. You have this goal in your mind, you want to achieve it, but there's just that middle ground that sometimes you can't get past. And so today I want to talk to you guys about my own personal experiences with Keep the Momentum and from this book. This book is called Rising Strong by Brene Brown. I'm going to reference some points that she made out of here into my own personal experiences, as well as a poll I did on my Instagram yesterday. And if you're not already following me on Instagram, please go do so. That's where all of Keep the Momentum's videos, all the content, whatever Keep the Momentum has, it will be there from now on. It is called The KTM Mission. I'll have it linked below, and then I'll have it on the video as well. So yesterday I did a poll on Instagram, and I asked everybody, if any, what mental struggles have you been faced with? And so I got quite a few answers, and I really truly appreciate everybody that sent me answers. And you guys, it took a lot of strength for you guys to tell me what you did. And I really appreciate it, because a lot of people are going through the same exact things as you. So we had things as far as anxiety, depression, fear, social anxiety, stress, PTSD. Those are just some things off the top of my head. And so I feel like with all those things, they kind of all wrap into one. Ultimately, I feel like they all have to do with fear. And so I felt like that was a perfect way to correlate why we can't keep our momentum and the mental battles that we struggle with on a daily basis, because they both go hand in hand. So in this book, Rising Strong, there's a point in here that I want to read to you guys before we start talking about fear. So she says, I can't read today. I have charted the map of the Rising Strong process from the stories and experiences of men and women who have found wholeheartedly ways to navigate struggle. This process teaches us how to own our stories of falling down, screwing up, and facing hurt, so we can integrate those stories into our lives and write daring new endings. This part of the book touched me. If you are reading this book, if you want this book, I'll link it below. That was in chapter 3, and it's called Owning Our Stories. So I feel like the way that correlates with fear is because, I feel like, okay, let me get deep a little bit, right? Okay, so I feel like ultimately we're all here for one thing. And I was watching this show with my mom with my family yesterday, and on the Gaia channel. And so this lady was speaking about our ultimate reason for being on planet Earth is to learn more about compassion, which I truly do believe. When everything boils down, I think it really all results in love. How can we convey love? How can we learn more about love? And I feel as though when we have to try to figure out how to be better in that aspect, it causes fear. Not only love, but just anything. Example, me with Keep the Momentum. I stopped doing Keep the Momentum for a couple months because of fear. There was a lot of things that I was going through at that time. I felt like I was depressed. I felt like I just didn't know what I was doing, and that all has a lot to do with being fearful of not knowing whether or not I was going to be successful at this, or whatever the outcome was going to be. I was afraid of it, even though things were working in my favor. I just felt like I wasn't enough. I felt like I wasn't doing things the right way, you know, and I was making all of these excuses, and they just really broke me down. And so when I read this part of, you know, this process teaches us how to own our stories. A lot of people go through things, a lot of us go through things, and we don't want to admit that we're going through it because of however we may feel, or in other people's eyes, how we may seem. When in reality, we're all going through that same thing in some aspect or some form, you know. And I feel as though fear is all a mental thing. And so with Keep the Momentum, I feel like a lot of people come here so that they can see, you know, I see that person went through this, and I'm not alone. I know that I can make it through. But sometimes it's hard to internalize that and to completely believe it. You know what I'm saying? So when I did the poll, and someone said that they experience depression and PTSD, I asked them, you know, which ways do you go about coping? Like, how do you feel you're able to feel that? And they said that they choose to like smoke and meditate. And so I asked, you know, are you able to do that without it, or do you feel more comfortable with smoking? And so they said that they felt as though it was easier to keep the thoughts out. And so there's a part in here that I wanted to read, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who do have coping strategies, you know, and it's not only with smoking, but drinking. It could be anything, you know. We can be addicted to a lot of things. Eating, it really doesn't matter. So let me just read this part to you guys. It says, numbing hurt. Numbing has been a constant in my research since the beginning. Picture emotions as having very sharp points like thorns. When they prick us, they cause discomfort or even pain. After a while, the mere anticipation of these feelings can trigger a sense of intolerable vulnerability. We know it's coming. For many of us, the first response is not to lean into the discomfort and feel our way through, but to make it go away. We do that by numbing the pain with whatever provides the quickest relief. We can take the edge off emotional pain with a whole bunch of stuff, including alcohol, drugs, food, sex, relationships, money, work, caretaking, gaming, affairs, religion, chaos, shopping, planning, perfectionism, constant change, and the internet. And just so we don't miss it, in this long list of all the ways we can numb ourselves, there's always staying busy. Living so hard and fast that the truths of our lives can't catch up with us. We fill every ounce of white space with something, so there's no room or time for emotion to make itself known. But no matter what we use, we can't selectively numb emotions. When we numb the dark, we also numb the light. When taking the edge off with a couple glasses of red wine becomes a routine, our experiences of joy and love and trust will become duller too. So this part is huge for me as well, because like I said, I stopped interviewing and being creative, period, for a couple months, and I felt like I was trying to numb myself with staying busy. Like, if anybody knows me, I'm always doing something, and I never really take time to myself. And so that was my excuse for the last couple months. You know, I can't do this because I'm busy. I'm doing this right now. I'll do it later, you know. And I was always putting things on the back burner and just not owning up to what it really was. And so my whole point of saying all of this is that if we want to make change in our life, we have to be vulnerable enough to see that we need a change. And sometimes that's just letting yourself be comfortable with feeling. I wasn't being comfortable with feeling. And I feel like a lot of us have that issue. Like she said, it could be anything. It could be gaming. It could be eating. It could be the internet. We have so much time in the day. And I always used to get so irritated when I would hear people say, you know, there's 24 hours in a day. Everybody has the same 24 hours. Yes, we do. We do. But it's deeper than that, you know? We have to actually start to understand how to make time for ourselves, because it all starts within. And before we can start anything, before we can start a momentum, before we can get to, I'm going to reference this to hiking. Before you can get to the top of that mountain, there are so many twists and turns and winds, stairs, gravel that you have to get through in order to get to the top. And before you can get anywhere near there, you have to get to the hike, right? You have to drive yourself there. You have to walk to the entrance. You have to walk through all of these different obstacles in order to get to the top. So that's all we have to do, is just make that first step, drive there, make it there, and then figure out exactly what it is that you have to do for yourself. Don't listen to anybody else. I'm not saying don't listen to anybody else. Don't let other people's opinions dictate what you do and how you deal with this process. You're the only one who knows how you feel. You're the only one that knows exactly what you want. So all you have to do at this very moment is think about what it is that you need to do. So I need to take all of this advice for myself. So I guess I won't make this a huge long video, but I guess what I really want us to leave this video feeling is to not be fearful. That's very easy to say, but we just have to stay out of our own heads. We have to lead with our heart instead of our head, because there's 2 billion thoughts going through our minds every single day, but like, your heart always knows. Go with that. Lead with your heart. Please don't be fearful. And like she said, the longer we numb, it's just gonna lengthen our process. Get to the top of the mountain. You can do it. I can do it. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep the momentum. We're going to get out of this space of the unknown, of just this weirdness. We can do it. Trust and believe me. If you guys want more stuff like this, like just sitting down talking, I am super open to that, because I need to think about stuff like this. Another point from the video that I watched yesterday, I don't really like talking about religion and things like that, but or spiritual beliefs, but I truly do believe this. She said, before we came to planet Earth, we knew what our intentions were. We knew that we came here for a particular experience. And when we came here, of course, we only came with our intuition, which is that thing, our heart, that thing that guides you or tells you yes or no when you feel a certain way about something. So when we came here, we knew that we were going to go through these bumps and bruises. We knew what exactly was going to happen, but we know that the end goal is going to be exactly what we want. And the only way to make it there is to go through these different obstacles. You are strong enough. I'm strong enough. We can all do it. We are exactly what we want to be. The only thing stopping us is us. Continue to strive. Continue to be that person that you aspire to be. Nobody can stand in the way of that. I love you guys so much. I hope that I was not like rambling and not making any sense. But I just really want us to do great. And there's nothing that we cannot do. Keep the momentum. And shout out to my sister Dana for sponsoring me. She got all of these shirts made. All that you see on my Instagram will be up for grabs really soon. I'll have the website up soon as well, so you guys can go check that out. I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day and keep the momentum. Much love.